Can you explain Bitcoin astronomy to me?
I can try to do so.
I'm just curious. I'm just
it's
curious.
A little bit of a strange and heady topic. Maybe I could talk about some of my motivations in thinking about those ideas, and then I can talk just a little bit about the ideas and kind of bring it back. This actually kind of, I think, goes to my physics training. There's a famous joke about physicists, where a farmer or something hires a physicist to, help him analyze how much milk his dairy herd is, going to be able to produce and kind of optimize it. And the physicist's response is something like, well, imagine, a spherical cow in outer space emitting milk isotropically in every direction at a constant rate. The idea of like, take a real world situation and make it so absurdly simple that you can actually begin to analyze it. And it's a technique that physicists often use to simplify the world around them so they can build models around it. I don't think I'm arguably a Bitcoin expert at this point in my life, but I still don't feel like I fully get Bitcoin and every ramification of it and all the ways that it connects to everything. And I find Bitcoin still endlessly challenging and interesting. So in the past years, as I've tried to think about various issues in Bitcoin, everything from block size to transmission times and functioning of the network, the role of energy, and all these ideas, sometimes I like to follow that physicist rule of, well, maybe let me extremize some variable, or let me consider this in a very simplistic context, and then how might Bitcoin respond in that situation? And then I think that kind of helps me try to understand and model the way it actually works here on Earth today, right now. So in the Bitcoin astronomy stuff, I was sort of trying to think, well, obviously Bitcoin exists here on Earth today, and the Earth is obviously a huge place, but the speed of light and the speed of modern communications infrastructure is very fast. You can have a real-time conversation like we're having miles and thousands of miles apart. And Bitcoin obviously benefits from that. It's an application that runs on the internet, and it kind of it is what we think it is. But I asked myself, well, what would happen if we went really far away from the Earth? Not thousands of miles, but like tens of light minutes. Like hundreds or thousands or millions of miles. If we went that far away, would Bitcoin still work? Like if we went to Mars, would Bitcoin still work? If Elon Musk landed on Mars, and could he and his colonies use Bitcoin? How would it work over there? And I think there have been a bunch of thoughts in this area in the past that I had read and intrigued me, and I wanted to kind of just continue those ideas. And so I wrote a bunch of articles around what will Bitcoin be like on Mars, what will happen when humans get to Pluto and the rest of the solar system, what might happen on other stars with aliens. And it was a really fun series of speculations for me. I'm a physicist originally and a big sci-fi fan. And so it was really fun to think about how Bitcoin might change and survive and grow and in all these future environments. And I think I learned a few things that helped me appreciate Bitcoin more. Like, for example, in all that speculation, one of the themes is how important energy is to human civilization, and how Bitcoin, because of proof of work, deeply connects to energy. And I already believed in proof of work strongly, and as the right consensus model, let's say compared to something like proof of stake, before I wrote those articles. But writing those articles, if you like, further convinced me and helped me find even new ways, new exotic, abstruse, astronomic ways of appreciating principles such as proof of work in Bitcoin and many of its other aspects as well. So long story short, it's a series of articles. Bitcoin Astronomy is a series of articles that I wrote speculating about how Bitcoin will change and evolve in the far future. And I think it's valuable as kind of a fun, speculative sci-fi read. But I also think it's just interesting because it maybe gives you some new ways of looking at Bitcoin's properties right here, right now on Earth.
Yeah, I love coming to BitBlockBoom because it's like Mecca for Bitcoiners. Like everybody here is like part of the hardcore like inner sanctum. You just have these conversations with everybody where like you can see it in their eyes that they believe the same things that you believe.
If you come to BitBlockBoom once, you're going to come every year.